Hello guys, and welcome back. So in the last video we finished up with our authentication. Now we have an authenticated user to Firestore. Okay, so if we minimize that, this is our user that we currently have in Firestore. Okay, so now that we have an authenticated user to Firestore, we can come here. So now at this point we can even put the user image here if we want to show it, and the name of this authenticated user. Okay, then we can also come to the settings and log out. So now that we have an authenticated user, we can come to players friends and then pick a time here, and then after we've picked a time we can select the color and play. So what this button should do when we click here is to get inside Firestore and then start searching for friends who are also available to play. If there are no available players to play, we have to create a game so that we start searching. Okay, we start waiting for people to also start looking for players who are waiting to play, and then if that person also clicks here, they can find our game and join it. Okay, so let's now go and do that. To create the method, first let's create the method to create a game inside the Firestore. Okay, so this is happening in the game startup screen here. This is the game startup screen, so where we're placing this button, play button, which is this. So once we place the play button, remember we are checking first if it is custom time, and then we are doing this. So all of this we went through it already. So we are setting the is loading to true, and then here we are setting the game times, and then when completed we are setting is loading to false, and then we are going to the game screen. Okay, so here we are going to the game screen if he is picked versus computer. And then now here, remember we did the method to search for players. So this is inside if it's custom time. Okay, so first let's not work in the custom time, let's work on this time, not here. Once you've picked one of these, which is down here. Okay, so the same thing happens here. We are checking if it's incremental, and then we do the rest of this. We talked about this already, and then now here we are checking if it is versus computer. We are going to the game screen. Then now next we need to work here, search for players if it's not custom time. Okay, so let's create this method. Okay, so first let's close what we don't need here. So let's close the authentication, the setting, the login, the home screen. We can leave the constant, maybe we'll add some new constants there. So let's close the main.dat, and then now let's go inside the auth provider. Actually now we don't need the auth provider as well. What we need is the game provider, which is this one. Okay, now let's go down and see where we can create that method. So let's delete this. I don't think we need it anymore. So down here, let's first create a method to create a game in Firestore. Okay, so let's say create a game. So here what we want to do is how we are going to create this game in Firestore. So let's go to Firestore. We want to create a new node here, the new collection of available games, and then here we are going to put the creator of the game's ID the same way we are doing here, like the user ID. So we are going to create like a, let me just make an example. We are going to create available games like that, and then next we are going to create the ID of the creator, like this generated ID, and then in these fields here we are going to have the UID of this, like creator ID. So we have creator's data, so his ID, let's assume this is his ID. We are going to have his ID, and then we are going to have maybe his image, his name, and then also we are going to have a boolean to check if this game is playing, and then we'll also have the game times here, and we'll also create the ID for the other user, the image, and the name, which will keep them as empty. Okay, so for example, let's save this. So now we're going to have something like this: available game, the creator's ID, and then also the creator's ID, and then his name, his image, and then we'll have also the time this game is created, and then the other person's name, image, and also the ID, which is going to be empty until that game is started. We'll also have a boolean which says which checks if this game is playing. Okay, so let me delete this for now. That was just an explanation of what we can create here. So let's copy that and paste that, and then let's delete. So now we can go back to our code. Let's create that here. So here, let's say void create new game in Firestore. Okay, like that. And then here let's take some required argument here. Okay, so we're going to take the required user model, which will make us get our user data. So we have user model, then let's all have a required function. Of course, we want to have functions to check if it's successful or not. On success, let's get another required function. Let's return an error message here, which will be on fail. Okay, let's save that to format it, then come down here. So here, the first thing that we're going to create is a game ID. So let's see if we have our package installed, the UUID package. So let's install another new package. Let's go back to the browser and then come back here. We can minimize this for now. Then let's search for UUID. So there is our package. Let's go on installation, and then let's copy that, and then let's go back to our code, paste that here, and then Control S. Okay, so we have an error. Looks like some of the packages are outdated, so we need to maybe downgrade this package. So what is our okay, so let's go with this one that it's recommending. Okay, maybe for you guys, by the time you're doing this, you can use the latest. Okay, so I'm going with 4.2.2. then let's save again. So it looks like we still have an error. Let's see what's going on. So it's incompatible. So let's go back to the browser and see what version we can get. Let's go to the versions. Maybe let's try. You can see this one is just been updated like hours ago. So let's get this older one. Come back here, and then let's paste this to the version. Then let's save again. Okay, we still seem to be having problems. Let me try to close this and then see if it will save. Let's go back. Let's Control S. Oh yeah, it's running. Let me do Flutter pub-get. Okay, so it has gotten all the dependencies. Looks like we don't have an error, but now it's okay. It's just telling us that this is available, so it's okay. We just, since this one has worked, so it's fine. If we update to this again, we'll get that error. So this one has worked for me. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, let's close that, and then we can close that. So let's come back to our code here. So here, let's make a comment, create a game ID. Okay, so let's create another string up, because this game ID, we are going to need to use it. Okay, so where are the strings? Let's create one here. So string, let's say game ID, which will be equal to empty for now. And then let's get the getter, maybe just right here, string get game ID, which will return our game ID. So there is our string here. Let's come down. We can move down. It's far. And then here, let's now make that game ID will be equals to constant of UUID, our package that we've just downloaded, .v4. I like to use this v4. These other ones, they also work, but I've tested a lot of times with v4 because it's generating the unique ID depending on time. Okay, so there is our game ID which we have set here, and then let's also notify the changes. Okay, because we can use it again, that's why we have put it up there. Okay, and then here now let's have a try catch block. So on Firebase exception, on Firebase exception catch E. So here, that's where we are going to call our on fail method, which will take the E to string. Okay, so we are going to catch the error here, and then now inside here let's create that game. Okay, so here we're going to say await, which means we must add an async keyword here. Await Firebase Firestore .collection. Need to get that Firebase Firestore. We did not initialize the Firestore there, so let's just get from auth provider. We need these, so we don't need the auth, so let's get these two, copy it, and let's go to game provider, and then we can just put them up here after these getters here. Let's paste them here, and then let's also import this. So let's come down here, then here let's say Firebase Firestore .collection. So here we want to put in the constants of available games like that, and then the document, we want to get our ID, which is a user model, the UID, and then from that we're going to set now. So we are creating the game. Okay, so let's bring this down like from there, like that, and then like that. So here we need to set the map. Okay, so let's make this constant. Let's go inside the constant. We can copy that, then let's paste here, and then let's just come back here and copy this, paste here, paste here. So we have our constant, and then here let's make a map. So what we want to save first is a constant dot UID. So this UID will be the UID of the user that is going to join the game, not the creator. Okay, so this one, let's keep it empty. And then next, so maybe let me just copy this a few more times. Let's copy more. We'll remove what we don't need. So we'll save that UID, and then let's also save the name for the player who's coming. Then let's also save his photo URL, that player who is coming. And then what else? Maybe now next, let's save the game creator ID. Okay, or let's say UID, game creator UID. Now this is going to be our ID. We are the one creating the game, so let's copy that and then paste that here. And then also let's have a game creator name. So this will be our name. We need to paste that here, and then say name here. And then here let's have a game creator image. Okay, so this will be our image. So we can say image like that. And then what else down here? Let's save the boolean is playing. So we are creating the game, so this is not playing, so we are going to set it to false. This is when we are creating the game. And then also here now let's also save a game. So we have a game ID there, which is our game ID here that we've just created. Okay, so let's get our game ID. Game ID, so we can get reference the one on top or just this one, because we are just setting it here. Okay, and then next let's maybe say also the date created. We can say date created like that. So here let's say date time dot now, and then microsecond since epochs dot to string. Okay, we need to save it as a string. And then what else? Let's also save now the times. So we say white time. Let's put an S. Let's say white time like that, and then also black's time like that. So white time, let's get white time on top here. So we say save the white time dot to string. Okay, we have white time on top. So black's time, we'll also say save the black's time load to string. Okay, and then what else can we save here? I think that's all we need, so we can remove this and then let's close it out here, and then after we do this we can call our on success. Okay, so that's it. Now let's just create all these constants. Let's go in the constants, let's copy that, then let's just paste. Then let's come copy this there, copy that there. So this is just a copy and paste there. All right, now our constants are done. So this will be our method to create the game in Firestore. Okay, so now that we have created this game in Firestore, so we need to create another method now. Okay, so now we need to create another method, which is joining the game. Okay, so this is creating a game. So once we create a game, we wait for someone to join this game. Okay, so now we need to create that method to join, for someone to come to join this game. Okay, so that method, let's also talk about the database structure. So if we go to the Firestore here, we talked about the variable game. So for the joined game, we are going to have maybe we'll name it as a playing game or running games, and then we are going to get the ID of this game ID of the game that was created, which is going to we're going to get the ID of this game that was created, which is going to be, after we give it the collection of running games, that ID of the game that was created is going to be the ID here, and then we are going to put the game data here. Okay, so it's going to be like this. Let's say running games next, and then we'll have the ID of the so let's go back here. So this ID here, the ID of that game that was created is going to be here, and then here we are going to put the game data, maybe game score. We have a string of 0 0, and then the other data of the game, like also the game creator name, game creator ID, if the game creator was white maybe, and then the game created time. Also there is playing boolean, which is going to be true this time. Okay, and then all that sort of data. So after this, we are going to, after we create this document like that, it's going to have that data. Okay, but now this will only be the data for the game, and then the playing game is going to be inside here. We'll have another collection of games. This will be a game, this game now that you are playing. So this game now will have again this same game ID, this one, this ID, it will have this same game ID here, and then these fields now, it's going to have the moves played and also the data of the people who are playing, all sorts of data. But this is the database let's say game moves. So we'll have a list of moves here. Okay, we'll have like this. So it's going to be like this: running games, the game ID, and then the game data, everything here, then that game, then that game ID, and then here, that's when if the user plays this, we update the moves, and then the playing state, whose turn is it, all those stuff will be here. Okay, and this is the one that we are going to be reading inside our application. Whatever changes here, we update the board. Okay, if the player plays a move, we update the board. Everything is going to be happening inside the game here. Okay, so let's delete this and go ahead and create that method. So let's delete this collection. You can say copy, paste, and delete. Okay, let's minimize this. Now let's create that method to join the game.